my mindset always was, is I'm not leaving this unit until I'm done. I just loved it, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was part of the reason why I was so angry when I left, because even though I did 21 years, you know, people would be like, well, man, you did 21 years. And you know what I mean? You were at the team level the whole time. You were my whole career. You had avoided no drill sergeant, no recruiter, no instructor time. I was operational the whole time, you know, and I was pissed because then when I found out I couldn't wear kit anymore, you know, because of that, well, I was like, if I can't wear kit, then I'm not staying.
Sure.
A bigger man would have stayed and become an instructor, you know what I mean? And been able to give back, but I wasn't that guy. You know what I mean?
You're certainly giving back. I mean, now with Warrior's Heart,
my give back was out at back to duty, because my mindset had been, because I'd watched so many guys like from the unit that leave the unit and other military organizations like that and go to other government agencies, you know? And my mindset always was, is I'm not leaving this unit until I'm done.
Right.
Because we had so many guys that went to other government agencies and get killed.
Yeah.
And it was like, man, if I'm going to keep doing the job, I'm going to do it with the guys that, not that those guys couldn't do it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But where there's bigger groups of them.
Right.
So when I got out, my whole working days were done, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I was cool with it, man. I'd gotten in all my firefights. I'd gotten, you know what I mean? I was okay.
So what was the transition from going from this, you know, master sergeant with all this experience, that now you're angry, you're not content with you're not content. Like you said, you were done with the operationally, but there was some, you know, some anger and stuff inside of you to go to the man who started Warrior's Heart.
Yeah.
Like what's the transition there?
Yeah. So it was the transition for me was super rough. But because I had tools in the toolbox, you know what I mean? I had a support group. I had my creator, you know what I mean? I had a wife. I have a family. You know what I'm saying? Like if there was anybody that was completely set up for success, you know what I mean? It was me. I had everything that you talk about you need in your life. I had it now for 20 something years, you know? And so because of that, you know, I was able to, number one, get diagnosed that like, hey, traumatic brain injury. And it's like a 8-hour test with a clinician, puzzles, you know what I mean? The test results are definitive. You know, if you're trying to cheat it comes up, you know, and all that. So they're definitive, right? So after those tests, it came back that, hey, 50% processing speed and 50% verbal memory. That's all I was working off of. And that was off of an average IQ, which my IQ is higher than that, you know, so it was even more than that. But it explained that I wasn't crazy. It explained that I was injured, because you can't fix crazy,
right?
But you can fix an injury,
which is pretty redemptive, right? You're like
you're
like wondering at what's going on inside, and like, and then you have answers.
Because I was losing my mind,
Chad.
I mean, like, because I'd been there before, right? Before I got sober, you know what I mean? I was not figuratively, like literally, I was losing my mind then. So I knew what that was like, and then now. There was a bit, like I was even kind of hallucinating at times, you know, all without drugs and alcohol, you know, but I couldn't stop the noise inside my head. I couldn't stop the visions. I couldn't stop the dreams. I couldn't stop. All my tools in the toolbox stopped working, you know, and so whenever I got that diagnosis, it was like, because even with my wife, like she's not going to suffer an asshole. You know what I mean? Like, so,
everybody has a threshold.
She was kind of getting tired of me, and I knew I was being a jerk, you know, but I couldn't stop, like, and how I would look at it. A lot of times she would say, like, stop looking at me like that, because it was just all this fury that I had that used to have an outlet for, which was combat, you know, and it was perfect. Now that was gone. Now I just had this fury with no outlet, you know, so even the look at, I'll show you a picture afterwards of what that guy looked like, but it was, you know what I mean? But then whenever, even for my wife, you know, getting the diagnosis, she was like, oh, I can do that. I can do an injury. I don't do jerks.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, cause she's a strong, amazing human being, you know? And, so when we found out it was injury, it's very redemptive, very like, okay. So then it was just like, what cognitive therapy can I get? What, you know, it was just like all of that. So that once I got my brain a little bit tuned up, things became a little bit easier for me. But I mean, I even was on, like I got on Zoloft for a little while because I had a chemical imbalance. But I'm gonna make this T-shirt. I think and it says it's like just because I'm well trained doesn't mean I'm well. You know what I'm saying? It's because and that really comes down to it. It's like I know I'm a professional, man. Like I have been trained in every kind of environment. Like I know how to act and when not, and to do this. But it's like, but that doesn't mean I'm fully well. I'm still struggling. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's not fake. You know what I mean? All this well time. I'm not pretending. I'm not putting on a show or anything. But I am professional. I am gonna always be the man for my family. You know what I mean?
Sure.
God expects me to do that in my belief system, and I am going to lead when it's time for me to lead, and being a leader means you put your own stuff to the side until you have time to address it, and which that's where Christianity and the Bible and all the other spiritual books and all the other teachings for resilience. It's, it's real, it's worked, and it's very warrior worthy.
Yes.
There's this 5-tour Vietnam veteran, and he was also a Korean War veteran, and we got sober at the same time, right? Obviously, ginormous difference. And he's in his 60s, I'm in my 20s, and whenever that man was telling me that it was hard, he's like, getting sober was hard. I was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Because I used military experience about what was hard in life. You know what I mean? So that let me know that if this dude's saying that it's hard, like
it's going to be a tough
when
battle.
I know that it gave me permission to know that, like, hey, if it's hard, it's okay, man. Like, as long as I'm in the fight is what matters. It doesn't matter if I'm the lowest guy in there, like struggling the most, but I don't know, you know what I mean? It matters, just keep going.
Yeah. Starting Warrior's Heart.
Yeah. So it was a super long story. I'll try to minimize it down. So I got the cognitive therapy. I got, and I continued to learn and grow and learn about moral grief and injury and treatment of that. I got really into veteran suicide. Me and Magnus Johnson started up what we called Elder Heart at the time, which is using art and warrior elders to bring the community together, because nobody talks smack about art. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
Everybody's like, some people like it, they don't, but it's art, and but we did that, and that became Mission 22.
Unless it's Hunter Biden's paintings.
Yeah. And then it became Mission 22, which is still up and going and doing great things. But during that time, we made Mission 22 is when I broke off and started doing Warrior's Heart stuff. And Magnus and his family is still doing wonderful things with Mission 22. But I was in that space, and I was in the nonprofit space. And then, and I've always been helping our population with chemical dependencies. That's like my jam. You know what I mean? It's
like you said that earlier before the show, you're on your Iridium calling for
man,
a sponsor, like calling your AA guys.
It's my vehicle, man, that has taken me, the steps, AA, the fellowship. Now we have Warriors Anonymous, which is another thing we got started. That's my vehicle that got me away from self-medication, that got me into TBI treatment, that got me into my Christianity. Like that's the vehicle that I've been on through life that has gotten me anywhere I need to go, to include my Christianity.
I think like when, like you said, the most impactful people will help others, those who have shared like experiences on a peer level. But one of the things it does is it's helpful for you because it brings personal accountability. Yeah. Like, okay, if I'm going to lead others in this way, then I need to hold the line. I need to be the example. I need to be able to hold that standard myself.
And what I always 100%, and what I noticed when I was doing all the veteran suicide piece and learning all the things, a lot about ancient warrior cultures is one of the biggest two things that we're missing. Number one was warrior elders, because our would-be elders are the most screwed up. Right, except for the ones of us that have somehow made it out. Well, we know how, God. And the other piece that was missing was the relentless love and support of the community that the warrior went and fought for. Right, so that was the divide between the community and the combat veteran. Number one, only 1% serves. So you know what I'm saying? Like there's a math problem there that's hard to get away from, and then everything else. But without a warrior cannot heal without the community in which he fought for.